As you can tell by our reactions, this is not your typical way to start off a Fallout, but as the usual, we're the highest tier party of your weekly unfiltered wrestling and entertainment. Welcome to the Worldly Podcast, our final prediction show on this hiatus weekend of an event. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube and Twitch as well. I am Marcus, representing the Worldly Podcast at MarcusSully337 on Twitter. And back with me once again from the End Time Wrestling Podcast, it's Justin.
What's
How's it
going on,
going?
guys? Yeah, man.
Where do we
God,
even want to? Where do we fucking start now?
I
Where
don't
do we
even know.
fucking start?
I say we just start from the top here. Like, I
Can I just?
say I've saved my friggin' disgust and ups and just absolute depression for later.
I'll just go ahead and say for the record, how do you go from a fucking astonishing, incredible night one to a shit to earth night two?
Dude,
There was
I
a
don't.
lot. There was a lot about this night two that just wasn't it.
You know, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So the attendance for night two, 81,395. So they had a little few more than night one, but a combined 161,892 for both nights. Now,
I'd like to know where they found those extra 1,000 people, but okay. You do
probably
you.
the
They must have all
probably
they must have sat on people's laps or something.
probably the standing room only. They probably included them. But
That could be.
what match did you say was going to kick off night two?
I said Brock and Omos, and it did. So
You got it right. You got it
they
right.
they
So,
released the order like later, like earlier today, but it was like I didn't know that originally until I looked.
okay, awesome. Congratulations on calling that one. You got it right.
Kind of figured they would want to just do that and get it over with.
Yeah. But we kick off the show with Brock Lesnar versus Omos, and Jesus Christ, it was such a fucking disappointment. I don't even know where to start. We knew they were trying to make Brock look like an underdog. And then at one point later, he just got this energy out of nowhere. I doubt he was drinking Prime Energy. And he just starts suplexing Omos with a hurt back and just one F5, and that was it. It kind of reminded me of The Fiend and Randy Orton at WrestleMania. One RKO took out The Fiend, and one F5 took out the Nigerian Giant. I ranked it as the worst match of the night.
Turtle, bro. I said Omos is a turtle. It's off his feet.
Oh, okay. See, I ranked it as the worst match of the night, and it kicked off the show.
Crazy thing is, I'll put it. I'm gonna. Can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of enjoyed it a little bit, and I'm not. Like I said, this isn't gonna change me into an Omos fan, but like, he took the F5 pretty well. That second German suplex, he went fucking sailing. I kind of figured this is how they were going to do it, where they're going to have Brock get kind of thrown around for a little bit, and then a little bit of a Brock flurry, and it was over. Quick, fucking wasn't painless at all. Just happened and was over with.
Yeah, I just wasn't. I was expecting a little more, but it is what it is on that one.
You know how Brock is. He doesn't like to work with big guys. He goes in there, does a little bit of offense, and wins, and that's all it is.
And then we get the women's showcase tag team match, which I expected it to end the way it did, but we get Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defeating the teams of Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, Shotzi and Natalia, and Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville.
Yes.
As soon as
That's
Ronda got in the match, I was like, that's it. It's over. Made Shotzi tap out. I don't know if she broke her arm, but that men's showcase was 10 times better than that women's one. That women's one,
The men's one blew this out of the fucking water. Absolutely. Like, honestly, when it was just the three teams that wasn't Shayna and Ronda, I went, all right, they're doing their thing, and I'm not like disgusted by it. But the fact that Ronda and Shayna basically sat out the entire match, let everybody do all the work, and they just slid in there and fucking get all the goddamn benefits out of it. It was such a fucking lame match in the end. I hated it. I was like, it didn't help the fact that it was already fucking uninteresting and absolutely pointless. And then you freaking go in there and you went this whole route of just Shayna and Ronda just sit on the fucking sidelines, twiddling their fucking fingers, and then they come in and just win the fucking match. And that was it. And I was like, you did nothing to give any meaning to it in the beginning, and you give nothing to any freaking sort of meaning at the end of it. It was so fucking throwaway. It was a waste. And it does nothing because it's not going to change the tag team title situation. It's still, like, the tag titles are still garbage. Get them the hell out of here already.
I just wish Ronda would go away. I fucking hate Ronda Rousey right now, and I'm starting to hate Shayna Baszler right now. They just act like bullies that are untouchable. And now I feel bad for Lita and Becky, because if that leads them to a women's tag title match down the road, maybe at Backlash, their title reign's done. You might as well put it on Ronda and Shayna.
And that ain't going to do anything to change those tag team titles either. It's just going to make it even worse, because Ronda's fucking atrocious with her stupid, I try to be the cool mom with the shit that I say, but you just come off super cringy. And Shayna Baszler just stands on the sidelines and is like, yeah, you're funny, Ronda. It's like, I'm over Ronda. She's not even close to what she was in her first year. I don't want to see her anymore. And I don't even want to see Shayna Baszler anymore. I don't even freaking care. I'm done trying to vouch for anything Shayna Baszler anymore. She wants to hang around with Ronda and be a fucking loser all the time. Go do your thing. You're not going to even intrigue my interest anymore.
Now things start getting a little better. There was maybe only two matches, I'll say the most, that put some light into this horrific night too. But the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship was the best match of the night. I will argue with that over Roman versus Cody. Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew killed it, and I knew it was going to be brutal. I didn't expect Gunther to retain, but that's a sign. Gunther is the guy. Will he be the guy to dethrone Roman? I can't tell you that, but I think he's going to have a long reign as Intercontinental Champion. I had my hopes on Sheamus finally winning a Grand Slam, but something tells me maybe down the road him and Drew are going to go into this feud, because it's like the whole giving me the Batista Ray vibe. Like, you're supposed to be my friend, and you cost me to be a Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
Gunther had a hell of a performance in his WrestleMania debut. Give it to the ring general. He did it basically on his own. He didn't need help with Imperium. But I love the picture of Drew and Sheamus in gorilla position. They were laying on the stairway saying they need like a pint together.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's another thing that pissed me off. Why do we need these stupid sponsors for a match? Like, you go back to night one, TurboTax was sponsoring both main events. Friggin' Prime Energy sponsored Logan Paul and Seth Rollins match. Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsored Ray and Dominic's match. You get Mike's Harder Lemonade to sponsor the Triple Threat match. Why?
I don't get it. I don't understand the sponsors. Why is every match got to be fucking sponsored? I'm waiting for Raw tomorrow night to just start fucking having everything sponsored. You might as well just start changing the ring mat at this point with the sponsor on it. At this point, just start slapping freaking sponsors.
That's AEW shit right there. That's AEW shit. They do that.
It's probably doing that too at this point, because it's like, why is everything got to be a fucking sponsor? I don't freaking get it. Like, everything on this show was nothing but a fucking plug for something, and it just doesn't. And most of them didn't fit. Like, what the hell does Ray and Dom being a fucking giant blood feud of father and son have to do with fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Why? Because it's Dom's favorite cereal when he was a kid, and Ray's just like, I think I'll love it if you sponsored our match. Like,
hey, just be glad Fruity Pebbles didn't sponsor John Cena and Theory's match.
Oh my god, that would have been so bad.
No, I think Make-A-Wish. No, Make-A-Wish couldn't have sponsored that one because Cena lost the match. But no, other than the stupid sponsorship, the match was fantastic. I'll give it to all three men, but I'll give it to Gunther. Gunther's gonna be a badass. He's definitely a future champion, and I'm calling it now. Gunther's winning the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble next January. He's gonna be my pick. I'm calling it right now. On April 2nd, 2023, Gunther's winning the 2024 Men's Rumble.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. This match was fucking a fight. They went to war with each other, and it was so freaking kick-ass. Like, I loved it. I wasn't even mad Gunther retained. Like, I was all locked in on Sheamus.
I was just shocked. Not in a piss way. I was like, holy crap, he survived. He beat both men, because I didn't know if Drew was going to steal it or Sheamus was actually going to fulfill that Grand Slam like KO did on night one. But no, somewhere down the road. But I'm not complaining about it because I like Gunther.
I love Gunther too, and I was fine with him retaining. Like I said, I was all for Sheamus with the Grand Slam. But Gunther retaining absolutely is a must, because like a plus in its own right anyway. Because again, this reign he has is freaking fantastic. Like, he's making this Intercontinental title feel like something you want to go for again, and that is awesome. Like, I can't see him being the one to dethrone Roman at this point. I don't know who's gonna dethrone Roman. It annoys the hell out of me. And that's the thing that just irks me, because it's just, now we're just feeding opponent. We're still continuing the feeding opponents to Roman fucking thing. And it's just.
And then we get to Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. The match alone was good, but I was disappointed in a couple of things. Let me just keep it on the positive side for a sec. The match was good. It was good, but it wasn't as great as Rhea and Charlotte. I gave Charlotte a 5-star match. If you want to talk about ratings, Brock and Omos, I don't know if I want to give it even. I gave it 1 star. The women's tag match, I gave half a star or 1 star. Triple Threat got 5 stars. So that's my third 5-star match for this WrestleMania. Probably that's a new record right there. Bianca and Asuka, I will probably give it no higher than a 4. I'll say about a 3.5 or a 4. Bianca's entrance was actually, I don't know what's the best way to describe it. Adorable. The Dancing Divas of Compton, which it's like a I guess it's a church. I don't know what type. It's a dance. It's obviously a dance group, but they have different types of dance groups. They got religious dance groups. They got like hip hop dance groups. They got dance groups for charities and all that. Like I don't know really what's their background. I don't know if they're an actual dancing company or they're just like a community, like a Christian community coming together just for a good cause, to keep kids off the streets and making bad choices. Well, dancing is your passion. We just start this group. Kind of like the wrestling club. Like they like shout to
Yep.
Victor. I know he had a tremendous time. The wrestling club is
Mhm.
kind of like something like that. It's like, but it's put up by the school where all these kids can just like come together and watch wrestling together and share it and even learn wrestling in an actual school. And you don't see that really anywhere in the other states. Definitely not down here. So I kind of compare it to the wrestling club. I thought it was kind of cute and adorable, and I'm not as flexible as that little girl who freaking just had her legs over. I thought she was about to do the demon walk like Finn Balor for a second, and then but that was a nice little performance. And but I was highly disappointed in Asuka's entrance. I was expecting a lot more than just have four indie wrestlers dress like her and dance.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, Bianca, she loses to Bianca, and Bianca's now undefeated at WrestleMania. She's won 3 in a row, and they just shit on Asuka again. Asuka's now basically Sasha Banks. She hasn't gotten a WrestleMania win or even that WrestleMania moment. And you kind of question that, like with Cody, like, well, then what was the purpose of changing her back to Kana, going back to this darker version of her, if you're not going to put the championship on her? And Bianca just made a full year today, 365-day reign as champion. And is she going down that same path as Roman? Is she going to go 1,000 days as Raw Women's Champion? At least if she does it, I'd rather her than Charlotte Flair. But that's probably the only time I ever wanted Bianca Belair to lose a match. And I was just disappointed for Asuka, but I still love Bianca Belair. She is one of, if not the best female wrestler on the Raw brand and in the top 4 with Rhea Ripley and all them and Becky Lynch and even Bayley and all them. Like, yeah, she's on their higher level. She's basically like on the same level as Charlotte, even though Charlotte's no longer a champion. See, like last year, I was so happy she beat Becky for the title. And I got to see that. But I figured, she held it a year. She's going to eventually drop it. No, they're letting her keep it because she's literally the best female wrestler on the Raw roster right now to hold the title. But I think I said a little too much on this. I'll hand it back to you on this match.
I like the match, but I just think the outcome was wrong. It just, like Bianca's in the same exact position as a certain somebody else on this card right now. Like, what's next for her? She's gone through basically every opponent that she's had set up for her. Like, now you got to freaking figure out somebody else. And it's just like, but nobody else is really set up, has really been built up enough to be considered worthy to challenge Bianca right now. That's the really shitty thing. Like, Asuka right here, and they've done a piss poor job with this Asuka character. Like, you bring her back as Kana, and they've really dropped the ball on it. They haven't done shit with it, to be honest. Like, it really sucks. And it's just like, this was a really good opportunity to do something with it, give some kind of legitimacy to it by having her beat Bianca, and it didn't happen. And it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm not saying that Bianca's reign has been terrible, and I wanted it to end because it's been terrible. Like, it just felt like the time to pull the trigger on it right now. And they didn't do it. I don't understand. I just didn't get it. Like, you had the opportunity right here to bring some legitimacy to a character that you've kind of just been like slipping on. And you're just like, yeah, but we keep the 1-year title reign going because that'd be way more interesting, wouldn't it? Like, yeah, I would rather gone with the other decision of making a character get some kind of freaking meaning instead of everyone just going, okay, cool, she painted her face fully now. That's about it. Like, it just, I just thought, like I said, I thought the match was great for them, but I think the wrong decision was made.
Yeah. So as you can tell, WrestleMania was in LA in California, and it's still basically daylight. I felt like with only two matches to go, I felt like they were just trying everything for it to just start getting darker before we got to that next match. So we get the Miz and Snoop Dogg back in the ring to announce the attendance record. And then Miz just come out of his shell and just say, I thought we were friends. What you did to me last night was uncalled for. Having to put me in an impromptu match with Pat McAfee, and then basically a handicap match with George Kittle. Then Snoop trying to be funny, which Snoop Dogg must had the best weekend of his life. He got his belt back. He drove Rey Mysterio out to the ring and booked a match for the Miz, and he did it again and got to do his little crypt dance and everything. And he was like, "Oh, you want to do it again?" And he's like, "I had to wrestle in a $10,000 suit, and now I'm wearing a $15,000 or $20,000 suit." And Snoop just like, "My bad," which kind of made me laugh. But
Mm.
but can I time out on this? You want to talk about complaints? You could. I know a lot more shit you could have did. You could have did the Hall of Fame introduction before the Hell in a Cell match. If you wanted to make any impromptu matches, why didn't you put Bobby Lashley in a match? Where was he at? Why didn't you put LA Knight in a match? Where's he at? And most of all, we all know Bray Wyatt was in town. The video was leaked all over Twitter from a fan. Why didn't you put him in a match? No, instead you bring Shane McMahon out of all people. I don't even remember the last time I saw Shane. So we get Shane versus the Miz, and then after 80 seconds, I thought it was fake. Shane actually blew his knee out, and the referee stopped the match. And then Snoop Dogg just knocks the Miz out and is like, "No, I'm going to finish this." And they added another match, and that People's Elbow was one of the funniest things I've ever saw. And Snoop Dogg pinned him. Snoop Dogg finally gets a win. Everyone's happy. They're listening to nothing but a G thing. The whole SoFi Stadium was rocking. So Snoop Dogg kind of did his best to entertain us, but jeez Louise, that's another red flag for night two being a shitty night.
Dude, both Miz's segments on both nights fucking sucked. And I mean fucking sucked. Like, him and Pat's match was a fucking waste. This whole thing here with Snoop Dogg and Shane McMahon was a fucking waste. Like, we haven't seen Shane since the Royal Rumble, where he literally fucking left after that, and now we just bring him back because, hey, it's Shane McMahon, everybody. Like, I don't fucking care. I didn't care. Like, we could have flew through this show without a fucking Miz segment and got here, and we could have fucking been done with this earlier. And it's just like we had to drag and fill time because we had to get near midnight again and make sure that it's 4 hours. Like, it was just such a waste. There was so much fucking time filler on this show. Lashley absolutely was like, he literally said he wanted an open challenge, and all he got was a fucking trophy ceremony. That's fucking stupid. LA Knight didn't get shit. Like, it was a waste. All the freaking time filler stuff. You could have had some like enjoyable stuff. And even if you wanted impromptu matches, you could have at least had some fucking impromptu matches out of nowhere. But no, you had to have Miz being a fucking goof, Shane McMahon fucking blowing his leg out. Like, it's an absolute waste of everyone's time.
That was giving me Vince McMahon vibes from 2005 when he blew out both his knees getting in the ring when Cena and Batista both got eliminated at the same time because it wasn't supposed to happen and it just happened. Yeah.
It's insane.
So the only thing I'm going to mention about the Hall of Fame, Stacy Keibler looks absolutely amazing still. She looked like she hasn't aged one bit.
That's for sure.
And Rey Mysterio actually got his introduction. Shocked Dominic never came back. Well, they were bashing Dominic on the pre-show, saying how when Ray whipped him with the belt or his mama slapped him across the face was the best part of their weekend or something. Or they would say like Dominic doing making mocking his prison entrance or making fun of his prison entrance coming out in the correctional van and everything we talked about last night. So the only thing I'm gonna say about the Hell in a Cell match, it just didn't feel like Hell in a Cell with it still being daylight. I'm so glad to see the OG back. But if it had been nighttime like it was for the main event, the entrances would have been so perfect. And see, this match was also sponsored by the movie The Pope's Exorcist that drops in theaters April 14th. And then the Hell in a Cell even had its own entrance with Russell Crowe just like giving a speech while the cell's dropping. And Edge, we got fooled with Edge's entrance. Everyone was expecting to hear the Brutes theme and see Gang. There was rumors of Gangrel being an entrance. No, Edge comes out. Look, everyone was making fun of his skull mask. He said it looked like the skull disco ball from Scooby Doo, the live version of Scooby Doo, or he come out with the bat wings. The only thing I liked about the entrance was we got to hear Slayer.
So that's what that was. I was wondering what that theme was.
It was a badass song from the 80s called South from Heaven by Slayer. Now, supposedly everybody was like, oh, I'm so glad to hear Slayer in WWE. Like, was Slayer banned from WWE or something? I don't know. I never got a story about that. I figured somebody in the UW pod or from Tino's community could answer that one, but no one answered it. But like I said, the entrance would have been perfect if it had been completely dark. But they were making fun of Edge's mask. I'm seeing the skull disco ball from Scooby Doo pop up in the tweets and everything, but not his best entrance. And I'm so glad to hear the Demon Finn Balor's original entrance too. But he went back OG. Like I was expecting to see a lot of purple in his paint all over his body, but he went back to his OG way. He wrestled in the small tights instead of the sadomasochistic activity pants.
He didn't have a flag hanging out his ass like he usually does, which was amazing.
Or a purple bandana. I'm actually shocked that Damian Priest or Dominic never tried to get involved. Rhea's on clout. Rhea's probably flying to New York right now to go on the Today Show, just like Roman Reigns. I guess Roman Reigns is going back to the Today Show too. But I was wondering, why were the weapons why was the steel chair painted red? Why were the tables purple? And even the kendo sticks were purple or red. Like when he trapped Finn in the corner, the kendo sticks one was purple and one was red. I'm like, what's this all about?
Yeah, I didn't get that. It was like WWE seen that and they were like, all right, you guys don't want color cell? Well, guess what? You get colored weapons. And it's like, really? Didn't need that shit. No one wants that shit.
I must have went to the bathroom when this happened. Didn't they stop the match at one point because somebody was bleeding? And because I saw the people bitching on Twitter about why have Hell in a Cell matches if you can't have blood?
Exactly. I said the same thing as soon as the moment happened. Because, here's my whole entire take on the thing. Entrance-wise, Edge's was, kind of okay, I guess, but I thought it was going to be way better than that. I was expecting to hear Brood music. Slayer, the theme sounded dope. But the whole mask thing, I was just like, all right, well, that's a little anticlimactic for what I was expecting. Demon Finn, I was expecting a different look from him, but it was basically just regular Demon. It felt weird seeing it in daylight. It was strange. When Finn got busted open, I go, oh shit, we finally got some color, and I hope to God, because it fits perfectly for this match, because this is some fucking huge blood feud. these two fucking hate each other. Let's make this feel like a blood feud and just ignore it and let it fucking happen. Let the blood stay and leave it. But no, they literally paused the match for God knows how long to check on Finn. And I'm like, you just basically took all the momentum that they just had in this entire match and fucking killed it because you had to fucking check on Finn. Like, first off, that is not something that the demon would be doing. The demon would, if he got busted open, he would be like, screw it, I'm just gonna keep going. But no, they fucking like humanized the demon. Like, it was just so fucking dumb in the middle of it. And it was like I talked about saying that I thought this whole weekend was going to be a Judgment Day freaking weekend, and it wasn't a Judgment Day weekend. Like, Rhea was the only Judgment Day person that had a match that won. Like, Finn should have won this. It would have kept more legitimacy to Judgment Day. But Edge got the win, and it just like, in the end, I thought the match for the most part was good, but it was like, it didn't feel like a blood feud ending match. It just felt like a basic hardcore, like, no disqualification match. And then, like, you kind of killed it. And like I said, you killed a lot of momentum by just stopping it because you had to stop the blood. Like, the demon would have never been that freaking way to just stop him and then humanize him like that. It just, for the most part, what we got out of it was good, but they just did a lot wrong that just didn't fit with it.
I'm gonna pause a bit on the Hell in a Cell match. I need to let you know about this. This shows like how amazing this particular superstar is. I want to go back to Bianca Belair real fast. Talking about her entrance. I'm not watching the press conference right now. I'm pretty sure it's about to get chaotic, but Triple H, WrestleOps just tweeted this, and this is so heart touching. We saw a lot of heart touching moments tonight. Well, this is what Triple H mentioned in the press conference. According to WrestleOps, well, before I reveal this, okay, the little girl I was telling you about, the one where she like fucking flipped her head, her legs over her head. This is what he was talking about.
Yeah.
She was a last second invite to the entrance. Like, she wasn't originally in the choreography. They just added her at the last second, but this was why. According to WrestleOps, Triple H revealed to the contortionists in Bianca Belair's entrance at WrestleMania that girl tragically lost her mom that same day, before WrestleMania went live.
God.
How do you keep I don't even know how she had the strength to like keep a straight face and have an outstanding performance like that after you lost your mother.
That is heartbreaking to hear.
And
God,
I take my hat off to Bianca Belair for like bringing hope to that little girl and giving her an unforgettable moment that she'll live with forever.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
That's why I love Bianca Belair. Even though I was upset she won, I'll take it back after I just read that.
I mean, I'm still going to stick with the whole she should have lost, but I'm glad that she gave that little girl that moment. Mm-hmm. Something to take her mind off of something that absolutely just you would have understood why she would have been like in a bad, like had an awful day. And Bianca's just like, hey, let me add her in this, and this will keep her mind off of everything. Like, it's amazing. That's an unbelievable story to hear.
And just like in night one, there was only one backstage promo, and they interviewed Bianca Belair, and then they brought the Divas of Compton backstage with her. But back to the Hell in a Cell match, probably maybe one of the coolest segments. I don't know what Finn Balor stood on the cage wall. I don't know if that was the camera leg he stood on, or they had a little platform right there for one reason where he tried to do the coup de grace and Edge moved. I said that's some Jeff Hardy type shit, but I think that was he stood on a camera like on a camera stand in the cell. Like,
there was just a metal like shelf like kind of thing, like platform there.
There's a camera right there. That's where they have one of those air drone cameras. Like for the top of
It
the
was
cell when
weird.
they want to aim down. That's what he stood on. But it was so
All I
weird the
kept
way
saying was
it ended.
each platform is convenient, and that was it. It was just weird.
It was just weird that I didn't expect Edge to win the match with a concerto. I was expecting him to like do it and then
Hmm.
just stand him up and just like hit the ropes and spear him out of his boots or spear the paint off his body and you win the match. No, he just wins with a concerto.
I kind of figured they'd try to like turn him into like a zombie, and he'd hit him with the concerto, but he'd kick out, and then he'd have to double tap him and do it again. Like, but no, they only did one.
All right. Then to the let's into this fucking main event. Can we talk about Cody's entrance? As the crowd started singing, I can hear the crowd echoing Kingdom in the background. The loudest whoa right there. That was on the spot.
They just get louder and louder every time. It's
Cody,
insane. Like,
Cody was
that
giving
Raw,
me that. Yeah.
that Raw he came out for against Solo, the fucking whoa got loud, and it's just like it just gets louder every time. It's nuts.
And I loved Cody's ring. Like Cody was giving me Great American Bash Sting vibes. And then I loved the angel wings on the coat. That was
So
pretty
good.
neato. Tell you what, I tried not to cry. One a beautiful moment. He goes to his family. Well, after he kisses Brandy, he grabs Liberty, and she just like tatas him. Like she just lays her head on his shoulder, and like and I saw even guys like videoing with their phones, and they're like wiping their eyes, like grown men crying over that. And then on top of that, he gives his weight belt to Brody, Lil Brody. John,
Nope.
that so Amanda Huber, who technically works for AEW but still got a lot of good friends in WWE, was invited to WrestleMania, and she took her sons because I saw her pictures on Twitter. They were sitting in a suite last for night one, and Lil Brody was at ringside with Brandy, the baby, his sister, and his mother. Well, I thought his mother passed away.
No, not his mom. His mom
Oh,
didn't pass away.
oh, I thought his mom passed away too. No, she's still alive.
No,
Some people were
no,
like,
she's
"Well, I wish Dusty could have been there." But, but Dusty, congratulations to Dustin Rhodes. He just became a grandfather. His daughter had her first child, and he has a grandson. So Dustin Rhodes is now a papa. So congratulations to the natural Dustin Rhodes on being upgraded to a grandpa. Now, what do you think of Roman's entrance? The it sounded like we were listening to an orchestra. The 5 or 6 piano players are just like making it sound like villain wise, and that was pretty neato. But I was expecting like a whole clan of Samoans doing the haka and stuff, and a lot
yeah.
of banging the drums and grass skirts and Moana stuff. No, it's the usual. Roman just come out with the red loop, with the red, whatever you call it, the Hawaiian flower around his neck, red
Mhm.
boots, red glove, black pants, same look he had the last 3 WrestleManias. And he had Solo Sokola with him, and of course Paul Heyman.
Mhm.
They
Entrance
they
was
made
really good.
the entrance was good, but I don't know who had the best entrance for night two. I guess Cody
Yes.
Rhodes. I'm gonna say Cody.
Yeah,
Cody
I
or
would
Roman.
think. I would say Cody. Like that
Like
whole
the crowd.
him coming down and crowd reaction and just him going to Brandy, his his kid just putting just like laying on him like that. The whole give the belt to Brody. I love that, dude.
Yeah. Plus, I like when he rose up, but they had the crowd in the background. They had the camera in the right spot.
Yes.
But it just felt like a real main event vibe. Like you had this whole year build up,
Hmm.
and And without the outcome we should have got, I would have started the show like this, no lie. Like if Cody would have won this match, I did a rundown with the intro video immediately following. I would have said the following: April 2nd, 2022, Cody Rhodes came home. One exact year later, Cody wins the Universal Championship. And that's how I would have started the show. And that was taken away from me. But this match had near fall after near fall. They literally kicked out of every other person's move. Cody kicked out of the Superman punch. He kicked out of the spear. He broke the guillotine. He
Yep.
kicked out of the Inseguri. Roman kicked out of Crossroads, the Cody Cutter, the and all that. And of course, did Solo take the belt from Brody?
Yes, he did.
They didn't show it. They didn't show it, or I wasn't paying attention.
They didn't actually show it. All they showed was him whip Cody with the belt and then throw it to the side.
And then he got caught and he got ejected. So he was on his own. And as soon as Cody gave the worst kick to the referee, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's gonna get bad. Well, the Usos come. We haven't seen the Usos 24 hours since they lost their tag titles. They come back.
Mhm.
They're beating Cody down. They hit a 1D on him. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn come through the crowd. They beat the holy hell out of the Usos. And then I thought this was where it was going to end. They were going to just literally help Cody win. KO stuns Roman. Sammy hits a Valuva kick to Roman. And I want to say, Cody, I think, crawled on his own, or did they throw Cody on top of him? And it was the slowest 3 count ever. If the ref would have had a normal pace 3 count, it would have been over there, but Roman kicked out. But when he had him in the guillotine, I was like, he's not going to pass out. He's somehow going to get adrenaline in his soul. And he got the adrenaline in his soul. He breaks the guillotine. And, he does the dusty, like, bionic elbow, the fall into the ground and the uppercut, catches him with a crossroads. He should have just went for it there. Like, he gets it, then gets up, and I was like, okay, one more. Do one more. But then I was like, you should have just pinned him after the first one, because after he hit the second one, Paul Heyman gets up on the apron, arguing with the ref, and then Solo come back out of nowhere and hits a Samoan spike. And the way I saw Roman just run back and forth through the ropes, just like he did with Triple H, just like he did with The Undertaker, just like he did with Brock Lesnar, I said, it's fucking over. Ran it twice, speared him, 1, 2, 3. Roman is still champion after 945 days. All it is now is they want to get him to a 1,000 days as champion, and now we're just out of hope. Who in the fuck is going to dethrone Roman? Everyone has literally tried and failed. I just can't see anybody else outside of Cody even trying. And I'm getting to the point, I don't even know if Gunther can even do it. I'm at the point you might as well just fucking bring The Rock now. Might as well bring him and just get this feud started and get it to WrestleMania 40. Because obviously Roman will probably main event a 4th consecutive WrestleMania as Universal Champion.
Dude, it fucking sucked. It sucked. Because the main event was unbelievable. It had that big fight feel. It was so awesome. I enjoyed it. The minute Solo got thrown out, I was freaking pumped because I'm like, here's where he's got the chance. No interference, no nothing. The only person you really got to worry about is Heyman, but Heyman kept to himself the entire time. So I was like, okay, nothing to worry about. The ref went down, and I went, fuck. Great. Of course, there's going to be a fucking ref bump. Because, of course, like I said the last time, this match was going to be a fucking circus. Usos show up. I go, all right, well, this is just to bring some tension in. They hit the 1D, and I go, here comes the part where it's going to get interesting. Well, it does. Sammy and KO run out. And I thought that was fucking crazy. Because right there, the minute they hit the 1D and left Cody for Roman, Sammy and KO came out. They basically dropped Roman, and now we're back to an even playing field. But Cody crawls over, gets the pin, and gets 2 count, and I'm like, shit, okay. So now we're going to keep going here. The minute Heyman got up on that ring apron, freaking everything just left. It was so just like, no, I'm screaming like, no, 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 no. Like, Solo popped up, hit the spike. We got the spear. Roman retains, and it just sucked the life out of me, dude. And I mean that. Like, what do we do next? We've got nothing. Nobody's been built up to challenge Roman. And even if you do, like, actually build somebody up at this point, like, are they going to win? No, we're just padding Roman's stats. And that's the shit that annoys me. Like, I can't see this having anything else like moving forward. And that's what really sucks. Because now this is the second time you had Clash the Castle with Drew, where you could have pulled the trigger in a moment that would have been freaking something massive, and you didn't pull the trigger on it. And now you have this one with Cody that's even bigger than that. The only opportunity to pull the trigger and start doing something fresh, and you don't pull the trigger on it. This is now the second time Triple H has dropped the ball on it. And that really fucking gets me right now. Like, this just shows you right here, Roman Reigns is the only fucking thing important in this company. And it's the only fucking thing they give a shit about. And that's the part that fucking sucks. Like, this was the opportunity to pull the trigger and give this big fucking moment. Like this reign, if Roman had lost, nobody's going to touch this reign. Nobody who ever holds these titles after Roman is going to have a reign as good as what Roman just did. But it's like they just want to keep enhancing it and enhancing it and enhancing it. And it just, I don't fucking understand. I don't get it.
They just want to get to the 1,000-day mark because he's 60 something days, like literally 2 months away. Like, he's at 945 right now. Around June, he's going to get to 1,000 days.
It's 55 days then. It's just, it annoys me. It just fucking annoys me because you can tell right now they're trying their damnedest to try, because WWE's been on that fucking trend where they're just trying to rewrite history and rewrite all the records and everything else. Yeah. And it's like they want to fucking break. It's like they're trying to break Bruno's record, and they're never going to do that. You will never break that record. Stop trying to aim for that record.
If they would try to do that, you know how many people would stop tuning in? Like, I know times were so different back in the 60s or 70s when Bruno Sammartino held it for fucking 7 years. It's Roman is like a mixture of Hulk Hogan, Triple H, and John Cena, you can say. Like, Roman is the golden guy right now. He is the meal ticket for the company. That's why I compare him to John Cena. He is their number one prospect guy. I compare him to Triple H because he is the most hated champion right now. Like, people are just over him getting over like this, like Triple H did with the big gold belt during the Ruthless Aggression era. Except the difference is if Triple H lost it, he immediately won it back like following pay-per-view, and people would get fed up. And then I compare it to Hogan because the last time we had this long of a reign, it was Hulk Hogan in the 1980s. Hogan held that WWE title from 1984 to 1988, 3.5 year reign, damn near almost a 4 year reign before the bullshit controversial ending with the horrible rematch of the century with Andre. So that's why I compare Roman to all three in one. All they care about is that 1,000 day mark, is it's supposed to be a big milestone. And it's just another way for Michael Cotto Noyes when that day comes. He's like, Roman has been Universal Champion for a milestone 1,000 days. And comparing him like he did it that night, comparing him to Pedro Morales, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, and Bruno. Saying
It
only four
just
men have held it nearly over a thousand days or more in one reign.
it just sucks. It sucks that we had the opportunity now twice to pull the trigger and do something different, and nothing has happened. It's just padding Roman stats. And it sucks because now what? I don't even want to hear it from people that say, oh, we got screwed. Here was interference. We could have a rematch. It doesn't even matter at this point what a fucking rematch. Because what's the fucking point? You absolutely, it feels lessened if you give the rematch. You just had a fucking outstanding, like an unbelievable main event at WrestleMania that could have capped off everything with Cody winning these titles. And then you're going to tell me that fucking if the later on where Cody faces Roman again at who knows what, say SummerSlam, it's going to feel big still? No. WrestleMania is the fucking biggest stage where if somebody beat Roman, it's the fucking perfect platform. SummerSlam just feels like you just were like, yeah, we could make this feel as belittled as humanly possible so it doesn't feel as big as it is. And that's literally all it's going to be if you had a rematch. This fucking sucks. It sucks because it's like, again, I think Roman Reigns' reign has been unbelievable. Okay, but I don't need him to hit 1,000 days. Again, like I said, this reign will never be duplicated again. Nobody will ever hold these titles like Roman did. I don't know why we couldn't have just pulled the trigger tonight. It does not make sense to me.
All right, that's it. Now, I don't know where I want to. I don't think I can rate this whole WrestleMania overall because I would give it a bad rating. I'm just gonna keep it split because night one was literally no arguing the best night of out of the two nights, hands down. We got what we wanted night one. We didn't get what we wanted night two.
No, not at all. At all. Easily, like, you had what? Two matches on the show that fucking reigned supreme, but you absolutely brought down the main event by not pulling the trigger, and you have an IC title match that fucking absolutely tears the roof off the fucking building. But other than that, every other thing just misses the mark. A Hell in a Cell that it could clearly be a fucking ender to what's been a fucking blood feud, but it just doesn't come off that way at all. A showcase for the women for fucking non-existent meaningful titles. Like, it just, it was such a disappointment. Like, again, Brock and Omos, like, listen, I enjoyed some, like, the stuff that we got out of it, but again, it's not going to make me like Omos. It's not going to change my opinion on being like a full-fledged Brock Lesnar fan. Like, it was fucking throwaway. It just, night two was nowhere near as good as night one was. Night one was fantastically done, and night two just felt like it dropped the ball in so many ways.
Do you have any last words you want to share before we close out?
I really don't. Like I said, I don't know what's next. I just can't see
I
what's
don't.
next.
I don't know either. Like, he's obviously going to get to the 1,000 day mark, but when's he going to lose that title? SummerSlam? Saudi Arabia or next year's WrestleMania, I don't want to talk about it. All I'm gonna say is, as soon as I finish this stream, I'm taking a week break. I have been so drained. WrestleMania does this to a lot of the podcasters, and we kind of did that also last year. Like after last year's WrestleMania, especially when I went to it, I was just so exhausted from the traveling, 7 hours, and come to one episode, and then I needed it. I didn't just need it a day; I needed a week. So Dylan and Jordan started theirs after NXT Stand and Deliver. That's why they didn't join us for the
Mhm.
Fallout. But
Okay.
I'm starting today on taking a week break from podcasting and talking wrestling. I might even I doubt it'll happen because big congratulations to LSU girls basketball winning their first national championship. I've been retweeting the shit out of all that. I don't think I can ever take a break from Twitter. The world won't let me. With everything that goes on in this world, I can't get my ass off of Twitter. But I can sure take a break talking wrestling if I can try.
Mhm.
Now I will tune in for Monday Night Raw tomorrow night to see how the crowd reacts if Roman shows up, and I want to see how they
Yes.
react with Austin Theory after he beat John Cena. That's the thing I want to see the
Mhm.
most. But I want to see if Roman shows up, see if KO and Sammy show up with those tag titles. But after Raw, I'm taking a break from wrestling. I'm not gonna watch NXT. I'm not gonna watch Dynamite. I'm not watching Ring of Honor, and I'm definitely not watching SmackDown because my girlfriend and I are going to the premiere of the Super Mario Brothers movie that night.
Nice.
I'll just read
Nice.
it on Twitter. But our next live stream will be on Thursday, April 13th. Jill and I are come back. We might start trying the watch alongs, but we're gonna start doing watch alongs soon. But thank you as always being a team player. Come and do this hard 3 day streams in 2 days, 3 streams in 2 days. I'm beat up.
And
It's midnight now. I have to go to work in 8 hours. I need to go to bed. I'm wore out. WrestleMania is finally in the rearview mirror, and I don't
mhm.
have to worry about stress WrestleMania 40 until March of 2024. So
Yep.
thank you again. Again, like I said,
Thank
night
you.
one,
That's,
amazing. Night two, fuck
yes.
you.
Yep.
But
I agree.
you can find Justin on Twitter at JustinTime211. Be sure to subscribe and check out the In Time Wrestling Podcast. Can't wait till those guys come back. Also follow his brother, Jeremy In Time 721, right?
There you go. You got it.
Hell yeah. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at World League Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Subscribe to us on Twitch and follow us on Facebook to watch all our live streams powered by StreamYard on demand. Again, our sponsors, W Energy, Be Better. Go to w.gg, type our promo code World Elite Pod to get 10% off. Our other sponsor, 80s Tees. You go to 80stees.com, type in World Elite to get 30% off of your order there. And all audio platforms, find us everywhere: Spotify, Google Pod, Spreaker, iHeartRadio. You know the rest. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys next week. I'm on a podcast vacation. As soon as I say
There we
goodbye and good night. Bang.
go.